この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Tiabu and I am here on Monday for Mushoku Tensei, and I am very pleased to be here for yet another episode. We'll be watching Season 2, Episode 16, and we'll see where things go from here. Last time on Mushoku, we helped Nanahoshi make some significant strides on her project of understanding how to travel between worlds, how she and Rudius got here, and now we seem to have gained the ability to grab things from the other reality and pull them into this one. A new piece of magic that may have deep, powerful, and unforeseen effects that probably don't matter right now, but might be extremely important in the near future. What matters right now is what happened when we came home. We discovered that Norn and Aisha have arrived, and so our little household grows in leaps and bounds. Along with them is an old friend and companion, and I didn't know we were ever going to see Richard again, and we get to see Richard again. Somebody in the comments was like, I don't believe it. Until I see the third eye, I won't believe it. It could just be a member of his fan club. But we know it's him. We know it's him. Who else would escort these kids? Who else would be Richard? We know. So, our little household grows. News and information will arrive from afar, and the world will keep marching on. School continues. Other things are still going. There are missions across the continent, things to accomplish, political intrigue and struggle. And now, with a bigger family to protect and a home to call his own, Rudius is rooted in a way that he wasn't before. He's stuck in a way that he wasn't before. Can't just up and run away. So, how will this new set of affairs and collisions change the future of our characters? I don't know, but I'm very excited to find out, and I expect that this episode will be very much focused on integrating and incorporating Norn and Aisha and figuring out what's going on with them. We have a very clear setup. One of them loves Rudy, the other one very trepidatious about Rudy, not sure about him. We'll see how that fleshes itself out and what inroads we can make. Hopefully we can find a way to reach and interact with both of these sisters and make our little family grow interestingly. This will also be a bit of a test run for Sylphie and Rudius in a household that's now under a little bit more pressure. It's one thing to hold a little gathering for all of your friends. It's another thing to walk into a wonderfully furnished and appointed house with all the money in the world to go and buy cool things and put them everywhere. And it's something else entirely to take care of people who don't necessarily care about you that much and are living in your space. You know, children. So this will be an interesting test run. See if that whole situation is actually something that we want to accomplish and how good we are at it from the outset. My expectation is not that good. I expect that some flaws and some mistakes will be made here, and that, as we always do in Mushoku, they will be a place for us to learn. Norn and Aisha they're younger, but they're not that much younger than some of the other young female characters that we've interacted with, especially when Rudy himself was young. But now we've got a very different sort of dynamic and a different sort of set of interactions where Rudy is kind of stepping into a head of household role, something that he wasn't before, and is very different from anything that he, either as Earthdius or as Rudy himself, has ever really experienced. It's very different from being a member of a party or even the leader of a party to be looked at with real authority for making decisions in a space, in a dynamic, in a family. That's a unique set of circumstances that Rudy hasn't really grappled with yet. He's seen other people do it. He's seen chiefs. He's seen leaders amongst squads. He's seen a lot, so there's a chance that he might be able to do something around this. And there's a chance he'll be able to pull that information, but it can also be really fucking difficult to deal with some young folks, especially if they're feisty, and if they don't like you, or if they don't respect you, or if anything you say, they're just gonna be like, ew, fuck you, I'm gonna go do my own shit. Gay, dad. So, exciting. Very exciting. I also wonder if there will be any resentment or struggle here inside of Rudy. Paul has, from one perspective, foisted the responsibility of these two off on Rudius. He's welcome to do it, and Rudy's happy to keep these people safe. He cares about them very much. But at the same time, it's like, Paul, come on, man. The fuck? I've got other things to do. We got important... My mom's out there. Stuff's happening. But we see the OP, and we see how things might end up working themselves out in that regard. For now, it's about figuring out this little house and how it will stand. I'm going to do a little drawing. So I know that this isn't actually what's in this house, right? I understand that while I'm drawing it, and yet I feel absolutely the need that this is the thing to draw here, that it's like symbolically perfect. Also going to be really similar to a drawing that I did last week for Frieren. Oh, extremely. Already extremely. This is the one that I did last week for Frieren. Gateway opening into a city. Already it's the same frame. I didn't intend to do that. Okay, already it's the same frame, but the meaning is different, so no sweat there, methinks. We're working with a little room. And we will put... I don't actually know what kind of boots Rudius wears. I haven't gone and looked, but it doesn't actually matter that much, because these are symbolic again. It's symbols! It doesn't have to be accurate. I imagine Sylphie wears some, like, thinner, smaller, but still, like, mid-top or, like, high-top, like, elven, fine leather boot things. Something like that. Probably should have drawn the over one first. Okay. I feel like Aisha is redhead, right? I feel like Aisha wears little buckle, like, maid shoe things. Sort of cloggy. Norn wears, like, no-nonsense, like, mom shoes, basically. But, you know, like, leather, medieval materials. What does Ruijerd wear? Ruijerd doesn't wear shoes. Fuck it. No, he wears, like, sandal things. They could be huge. Perfect. So, yeah, you know, it's not actually a Japanese-style house. It doesn't actually have a front foyer-way with sliding paper doors and a tatami mat where you would put your shoes. But you get why I feel like this is the right image for this moment. It's like it's a homecoming, and suddenly our space has more people in it, and we don't know what's going to happen in the conversation that's going to happen inside, and how they're going to meet and know each other and interact, but we know that they'll be here. And it's like if you came home, you'd see all these shoes there, and you'd know that there were more people in the house. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, in the interest of continuing the Mushoku-based life updates, I spent the entire past weekend with my Sylphie, who I'm going to continue calling my Sylphie because it works. It was fantastic. It was fantastic. Jeez, forgive me if you will. I hope you'll forgive me for being a little bit deliriously happy. Something that happens, something that happens, I think, and all around a good thing. But wow, what a thing that is. A little bit love drunk. That's okay. That's okay. Well and truly good, honestly. So let's check in with our other love drunk duo and see how they handle some changing circumstances here in episode 16 of season 2 of Mushoku Tensei, which I have up and ready to go. Sitting at 0 seconds, there will be 2 versions, picture-in-picture in the description, timer on YouTube, beep timer to count you down, early access available on the Patreon if that's something you'd be interested in, and beep timer to count you down. Let's go. Hello! What's up, my guy? Yeah! Hontoni! For you. Couldn't have asked for better. Couldn't have asked for better. Not with kids. Not when it comes to kids. Cool. Perfect. Ginger? I forget who Ginger is. Turning to her prince? Oh! Yeah. This is such interesting framing. We're peers now, you know? Smart. Oh, they're already scrubbing. That's good. Got worked hard as a caravan guard, huh? That's a great answer. Yeah, how do we even reconnect as friends? Oh, you mean my trauma? Wow, that's cut to darkness and the couch between us is amazing. Ooh, spicy distance. Yeah, no. Because she thinks you're better. Because she thinks you're better. Yeah, can you forgive that? Uh-oh. Here we go. We have brought them all back into the picture. Seen Roxy, thoughts about Eris. Well, that's foreshadowing. That's probably not gonna happen. But that would be great. Be very helpful. Thank you, Richard. What a homie. What a homie. What a homiest conversation, but a hard one too. That's the kind of news from afar that I was waiting for, but I didn't expect to bring like the moment we've got this commitment and intrigue, it's like other things return and shake things. It's like the shaking that's happening right here. But isn't that right? Is that the way that it's been in your life too? That when you like commit to something, that's when it gets hard? For me, it's like whenever I discover a path that I really want to pursue, then I go through the learning competence curve where I like get overconfident, get destroyed, have to rebuild it back up. And that, like, destroyed part happens right after I'm sure that I want to do it. It's the same with a relationship. Like, as soon as it's solid, the past comes back. The others come back. Okay, he's gonna depart off to fight alongside father, but leave them together. Sylphie will stay. The two young ones will stay with Sylphie. And he'll go and he'll meet Roxy and the father and the squad and stuff for fighting. That's where we're going. Okay. Oh, fuck! That hurts so much! Shit, that's the thing that I miss. I missed that. I had that all weekend, and now I don't have that anymore. Hello, friend. You want to hang out? Wait, I want to know what I... Richard? Ooh. Ooh, old blood. Oh. Yeah, we've been hanging out. He can drink so much beer at once. So they're not enemies. Oh, yeah, man. You just want to leave so fast. This episode is lovely in its pacing. It's like trying to savor this moment. Hello, children. All right. Finally, it's time. Oh, finally they speak! Proper little lady. Fully mannered. And the other side? More nervous. But also caring. Aw, because you fucking hate Rudy. Then trust him. Sorry, little one. Rip. Ah! That's what it is! Ah! He's a womanizer, too! Ah! No, he has one true faith, but it's a different girl's panties! Oh, shit. We don't mention the previous green hair or anything, huh? It's not really related, I don't think, but it is interesting. Bye, my dude! Fuck! That's way too short. Oh, we get to savor the moment, but poof. Okay, hello, you two. By the fire. Free run 9090. They were really little. She's very soft-spoken and nervous. I wonder if she'd like Nanahoshi. Oh, shit! Thanks, Pops! Just a fuckload of gems and gold. Let's go! Hey, bud, you went dungeon delving. Here you go. Okay. Oh, that's smart. You're just gonna go and try to intentionally fail it. Take the exam, Norton. You're gonna be great at this. No, you're the mage. You are 100% a little mage priest or something. Ah, it's like that, is it? I'm trying to figure out the complex on that one. Kind of what you meant. Okay. Norine. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Kids! Ah, you think of yourself as a little adult. You've got such complexes, the two of you. Aisha. Yeah, you bratty little arrogant one. And you're so much better. Norn is clearly struggling with certain things internally. Beyond just disliking Rudius. Doesn't know how to unshell. Immediately? And this is everything that I wanted. You've got kids now. You've got kids now. We gotta take care of the house. You're what? You're what? No. You are two children who bought a house. You're two children who bought a house. It's different. Yeah, with her attitude, she's gonna fly. But don't neglect Aisha. She needs support too. You can't just take the kid who looks like they're doing well and ignore the need. Sylphie's good at this. Yeah, that was really great. Yeah, well, that's surprising. Yeah. Uh-huh. Nope. You sounded intuitive. And femme, helpful. Responsibilities delegated. Gotta bail each other out. We are married. It's cute. I love that we're using that with the snow. Yeah, the other way that you... The other... Okay, that's fucking cool. How did we do, Aisha? Badly, huh? But... enough to give her the complex. Oh, and my sister doesn't have to go to school? Well, she wants to live away from you. That's cool, though. Yeah. Yeah. It would be better to solve those things, but... we'll see how long it lasts. She needs more help. So she gets special treatment because she's worse? Oh, it's because of that, because she's not full blood. Noru no Bachan. Don't know her yet. That's good. Okay. Whether it's believed or not. Oh, yeah. Huh. Some massive tension emerges. What a thing. But you got what you want too, Aisha. Scrubbing dad's back. That's fine. Mm. She's gonna run straight into a wall. Okay, shut the fuck up, man. You're laying a bunch of shit on her just like parent style. This is bad. But that feels like chains. But it feels like chains. You're beating me, not dad. Okay, this will go how it goes. This will go interestingly. Norn goes to magic school. Hello, Norn. Opa. No friends. Doesn't talk to anybody. Doing great here. She is going to experience what Earthdius experienced. Yeah? I'm terrified. I'm terrified now. That is not reassuring. It's terrifying. Sex toy? Nice. I don't know what I'm up to, my guy. Okay, straight out with it. Oh, hi there. Hey. What was that face about from Sylvie? Have they? Oh? Is Norn a pervert? Is Norn a little gay pervert? Ah! Oh no, they've been stealing all the panties. Oh no. You've got a bag full of them. Oh no. Oh! I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask for this. He comes in and puts it on the floor. The music's part of it. I haven't opened it. I don't know. It's unopened mail. It's unopened mail. It's unopened mail. No. Well. Well. Was this all a fucking prank? Okay, no. Is it what's in there? What? You said that out loud? What do you know? What do you know about Passion at Night, Sophie? Yes, you do. Fuck. God, Ariel, stop doing this. Stop fucking doing this shit. You want these panties back? And the pair of these. Yep. That's what's in there. Holy shit, Linnea and Persena. You dumbasses. Puppy wrangling. Speaking of which, little Ahoge. I just realized that they have identical Ahoges. Not another woman! Can we please put her under Ariel's wing? She doesn't fucking know anything, and she doesn't know how to ask people. Oh, we're giving her a handsome one? We'll see how this goes. It'll go well. Yay! Yay! We made an inroad! One inroad. Still very worrisome. Come in, yeah. Hi, Norn. Still with no friends. Hello. Oh. Whoa, 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 whoa. Now that's part of what you needed to do. What a pack. In fact, it often means the opposite. Mm-hmm. Skipping classes? Skipping classes, huh? Living in a dorm, alone and separate. Very alone. Okay. Okay. Cool. The whole OP&ED is about these relationships, about these connections, family stuff. I guess you could say that the whole show is too, but it's particularly obvious here. Ah. Lovely. Lovely, and not a turning point, not a turning point, not a turning point, not a turning point. Okay, thank God. My older brother's feelings. Interesting. Okay. This was a peaceful and sort of serendipitous episode. There's conflict in it. It's not completely absent of that kind of thing, but it is mostly good. getting to spend time with these people. I really like the little shot of the snowbank on the roof and the shots and centering around the fireplace. I think those are really cool for anchoring the episode in time passing as well as in space. I think that the cleverness around this fireplace location and the chairs that we have here is really cool for particular conversational beats. This whole conversation happens from these broad open angles where we're looking face to face with each other. They are facing each other directly across the thing, and this open space separates them, but it's open, right? It's behind them. It's back behind and connecting them. Like the green of the couches all holds together. And it's like one line and one space where we sit together as peers across a table from each other and share a drink. We're in this particular peerage relationship. We move into shot, reverse shot, and we stay on this side. Always on this side. Always on fireplace side is where our camera is. It keeps our characters lit from our sides so that we can see them well, but it's also an open angle. It's the way that it is. And then what kinds of things did we talk about? Like that nervousness of not being sure how to rekindle a friendship that's serious but has been absent for a little while. Eris comes up, a physical tensing, and our camera shot swaps to the other side. Instantly, we break the 180-degree rule. We're on the other side of the characters. Everything is flipped up, turned upside down, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air style. And now the connecting lines that held everything together in the couch hold everything apart. They serve to distance our characters. Still, their eyes can meet over here, but everything in between is blocked off. We're isolated, our frame is cut down, and it's just face to face, head to head across the screen, separated. Oh, and the big brown wall in the background helps as well. You know, everything holds together here, and everything is cut apart here. Brilliant. Simple. Brilliant. Eris didn't save me, Sylphie did. It could have meant something else. There's a possibility, and his mind goes for it, but he holds steady, Sylphie. But it's a little bit of a shake. It's a little bit of a wrinkle. Very interesting. Ah, brutal. Fuck. That's the piece that I missed the most. It's so nice. I love this space with all the open windows. It's also so nice. This is very interesting. I'd love to know more about that history, but it just fleshes out the world more to know that these two have some beef. I wonder what it's really about. Very interesting. About to head out. Please have breakfast. And we do. But he's got to go. He's got to go. He's not going to stay. This is the first time that these two characters, that Norn and Aisha, speak during the episode, and it's here as she steps up to be polite and to say the right things. She's very good at that. She's very good at being polite and saying the right things and knowing the formalities and doing the charismatic, like, forward, happy thing, engaging. Aisha's very good at all of that. Norn is lacking in those respects. I don't know exactly from whence her complexes come. I'm not sure. I think, well, she's really deeply worried about failing, about making mistakes. She's not as excellent or as easygoing and as talented and instantly vivacious as Aisha, as her sister. And so there's this constant comparison, especially because in situation, Norn is the full-blooded one, the big sister or the more close to the family sister, the one with the blood of the king in her, right? So, like, you know, you get the firstborn of the king, who's the real heir and whatever, or secondborn because Rudy's older, of course, but you know what I mean. And then same age sibling who is not of the full bloodline, but is the talented one, is the blessed one, is the blessed child who has all the talents, who is like a match for the father in swordsmanship and a match for the mother in healing magic, whatever it ends up being. We just haven't discovered what Norn is actually talented at yet, is my guess. I would assume that there's something going on with her, but even if there isn't, there's this issue that seems like it's wrapping up one's own identity in success and in competition with the other sibling. When Aisha doesn't see it that way, of course, the competition aspect, because she's always winning and always succeeding, she doesn't ever have the angle to see that. And so we get this like self-defeating, I won't do it because I'll fail in a way that my sister won't, sort of thing that comes from this perspective of like wanting to be the one who's informative and authoritative and like is looked up to and is respected, but then at every turn Aisha's better at stuff than she is. It's like Aisha doesn't even want to go to magic school and she can ace the exams. Norn actually kind of wants to go, right? But is afraid that she'll fail and does slightly worse than average. Like, and that's enough. That's enough, right? She's not a desperate failure. If she was a desperate failure, she could probably put it aside and be like, I'm just bad at this, I'll walk away. But because she's just not super talented, it's like that struggle space. It's that struggle space. So I think until Norn finds something that kicks her ass right, that she's bad at, and she goes, I need to know that, or that she just flows with and is good at, until she finds that, it's not going to work for her. And so she's going to spiral out, maybe. Aisha will do just fine, but Norn won't. And then similarly, in terms of emotional adjustment, Aisha seems much better capable of self-regulation, and of comprehending difficult emotions and working with them, as we see evidenced most poignantly when she gets a little bit upset that Norn is getting special treatment, because in the dynamic, and I said this as it was happening, I was like, you can't just ignore Aisha and be like, okay, Aisha's fine, we're going to put all our attention in the tough child, right? The other one desperately needs support and praise for the things that they're doing well and encouragement in those things. Otherwise they'll fall apart as well, and you'll leave them without foundations, and they'll go so fast that they head over the cliff and fall. So you got to do both. You got to be encouraging and supportive of your succeeding child and helpful of the other child without feeling like there's a mismatch. But what Aisha's able to do when we explain that, like, we're trying to help Norn because she needs help and you're doing so well already, this is really important. She's able to take that, and she's got these emotions, but she connects her to her parts of the brain, and manages to overcome her emotional response with a logical one, while Norn isn't really capable in the same way of doing that. These are things that would be considered integration as an aspect of brain development and socialization and human actualization that in a book that I'll grab right now. Which, as I grab it, I think it's worth saying that I think Rudy and Sylphie do a number of really cool things in this episode that work really well as far as parenting or teaching or mentoring, like whatever the relationship is with somebody much younger, with somebody who has some more authority over them or is older, whether that's parental or siblingy or teachery or mentory or whatever, however you want to frame it. There are really good things that they do here in dealing with some of these conflicts, and I want to highlight those. But part of what I wanted to do was grab The Whole Brain Child, which is a fantastic book, and if you have children or children around you, or know anybody who does, you should read this, and then you should buy a copy of it for them. Seriously, the world would be a better place if more people had the information that's in this book and books like it. The part that I think happens most obviously is during that conversation with Aisha, where we watched a fairly well-integrated child in a conversation that connects the upstairs and downstairs brain. The lower, more animalistic fight or flight, territorial maybe, responses that are emotional, and the higher, more cognitive functions that are more logical. By connecting with those emotional responses and then wiring them up to those more logical experiences, we can allow the two to integrate and incorporate, so you can feel the emotions and weigh them with the logic in the same sort of space. Otherwise, as you'll probably recognize in your own experience and the experience of those around you, you'll get this experience of like, I feel a certain way, and it has been shown to me with evidence that I should not feel that way, and I can't help it. I fucking still feel that way. It doesn't change anything. That that Jimmy didn't mean to nick my car with his bike. I'm fucking pissed that he did, right? It's like, yeah. So that's the staircase, the upstairs and downstairs brain, and I think that's kind of what happens right there. An episode that is powerfully about connections. Okay, I will keep on keeping on. I just wanted to mention it because that's our first moment where we get to see the difference between these two and the first reasons why Norn is not happy being here. Reasons for not trusting. I promise he isn't faithless. And Sylphie. Bye. Okay, this conversation is pretty cool. I like the framing of it. I like the way that Rudy sets it up, and speaks to them. I think he engages with them in a really solid way that isn't speaking down to them, and is treating adults like they're small children in terms of the way that you speak to them and the way that you treat them. Treating children like they're small adults, in terms of the way that you treat and address them. I think a lot of people baby kids or treat them like they're kids, and obviously they're kids, right? They deserve and need all of the room to grow and do kid things, and the ability to cry and fail and make mistakes and play and all the kid stuff. They shouldn't be treated like adults, but in terms of the way that you interact with them, I think it's a good framework to treat kids with the same respect that you would an adult and not talk down to them as though you know everything and they don't, because kids are really fucking smart. Are their brains fully developed? No. Are they capable of certain levels of consciousness and conscious decisions, especially about their personal autonomy and important, crucial things? Absolutely not. Are they capable of listening to you explain something and at like a serious level? Yes, 100%. Are they capable of comprehending difficult emotions if you go down to their level and bring them up and like explain the whole situation? Absolutely. Do you have to make compromises to make sure that your explanations and stuff work and explain little things and define words as you go? Yes, but it's worth it. It's worth it. You can treat them like they're little adults. Let's go ahead and let's all get along, and really treating them like they're adults in this conversation. From the outset, Norn is kind of dismissive and living in her own world. We'll see as she integrates whether what's going on with Norn is simply her personality, the way that she's structured. It very well may be. It may also be that Norn has some like unknown, undiagnosed, and undiagnosable in this particular time and space learning disabilities or other mental framing differences. Might be slightly neurodivergent in terms of our world's thoughts or our world's how a modern day psychiatrist or doctor might diagnose her. Totally possible. Does seem to be much more in her own world and much less capable of interacting with others. But it seems to me like that comes more from fear, anxiety, and the normal set of isolating circumstances that young children undergo. It is worrisome, though. Rudius felt certain types of ways during his own schooling, and Norn is on a pathway that could lead her to the same kinds of ostracization and deep loneliness that he felt, and that would be really bad and really sad. So I think that narratively, the opportunity to prevent that for someone else, to help and assist and support someone in the ways that no one was able to help and assist and support Rudy, is going to be really, really powerful for him. Likewise, I think it will be really powerful for him to have the tables turned and to be put in that position of being the worried parents sitting in bed late, wondering what you can do about this child that you have who just won't go to school, or just won't do the things that they're supposed to do, or just won't figure it out. Maybe not knowing exactly how to deal with that. But at the same time, maybe he will know exactly how to deal with that. After all, maybe he's been there. Yeah? Yeah. So, I want to take care of you. School has nothing left to teach me, and then this... Fantastic. Fantastico. And I still carry the symbol. Okay, but please take the exam. My decision depends on your score. I thought it would be the other way around. I thought it would be if you fail it. If you fail it, fine, you can be a maid. But it's the opposite. Norn is displeased. But why? Because I might fail. Fear of failure. Self-defeating. Where does it come from? A need to feel superior. Probably. A need to not be proven inferior. Not to look like a failure, especially compared to the other sister. You, the little chosen one, everybody will baby Norn. Everybody will love you and support you and coddle you, and that is not what you want, is it? You want to be powerful and capable on your own. That is what you want, isn't it, Norn? Norn wants to succeed. Norn needs armor and a role model. Norn needs someone in her life who is different from everybody else and doesn't give a fuck about it. Who's capable of putting on that bitch face armor sort of situation and just Devil Wears Prada-ing her way through life. That's what Norn needs. I don't know that Rudy can provide that, because I don't think that she'll trust him because he's male, and because of all the pervy stuff and things like that. I don't know that Sylvie can provide that. She is capable, and I think if Norn saw her like fight, then maybe. I could see it working weirdly. I could see Alina Lise being very helpful, but the person who just clicks in my head is Nanahoshi. I feel like Norn would be so happy just like following Nanahoshi around, figuring out new magics and organizing papers and shit. And just like Nanahoshi's snark would be the kind of thing that would be like, Norn, I need you to not talk. And Norn would be like, sick, awesome. I will organize these papers and watch you work and learn. And I'll bet there's going to be something that Norn is like going to click with, but we have to get her to a point where she's open enough to find it and interact with it. I'm curious how we'll do. She's also got this like some very strong moral compass things. If that's what it takes, I don't want to go. She wants to earn it. She wants to earn her own way and prove herself on her own merits. She doesn't want to be grandfathered in by wealth. She doesn't want to be in because her dad is somebody cool. Partly probably because of that dynamic with her and Aisha, where it's like, well, I am the full-blooded sister, and yet it doesn't do anything for me, so obviously that won't work. Being of a position isn't the thing. It's about what I'm actually capable of. How do I actually measure myself? There's a lot here that reminds me of Ram and Ram in ReZero, in terms of their dynamic, as well as in terms of their competence, and how that affects the two of them and how they see each other. There's a lot that reminds me of that. So it's very interesting. I phrased that badly, and then Aisha puts herself in, don't you dare speak down, and we do frame it this way, only because you're bad at school, and Aisha absolutely takes this sort of condescending, better than you role. The problem is, in every measurable metric, Aisha's better than Norn. To maybe goobery cuteness, right? Like if you go full protectable, then Norn is definitely up there on the charts. But in terms of literal usefulness, in terms of if we dropped both of them in a forest, which one of them would be more likely to survive? In terms of if we leave them in this house alone for a year, which one of them is going to be more likely to survive? In terms of heading off to school and meeting people, finding friends, begging on the street, basically anything you put these two up to, my money's going to be on Aisha. Because Norn's too hesitant. Norn's not sure of herself. Norn withdraws. Norn is more on the well, we can do it in terms of big five traits. In terms of big five traits, openness, like willingness to experience new things and explore new stuff. Norn is pretty closed. Conscientiousness, organization, and like put togetherness. Norn seems very much so prim and proper in some ways, differently from the way that Aisha is. Extroversion, which is positive emotion feel, not as much the willingness to go and talk to other people, but they come from the same place in a lot of people. That feeling of positive emotion and comes with socialization as part of the territory, and Norn doesn't seem to have a lot of it. She seems pretty gloomy at present, at least, and Interesting. Agreeableness, disagreeableness is unclear. There's like a mishmash of like conflicts and things that are just agreed to. Both of them seem to be somewhere in the middle there. Neuroticism, though, which often goes opposite side to extroversion. Neuroticism is uh, the degree and ease of which at which the person experiences negative emotions, anxiety around specific things in their life. And it's very clear that Aisha is much better off than Norn is on neuroticism. So less open to new stuff and more prone to negative emotional responses. And then low extroversion means that the response to those negative feelings is going to be to withdraw instead of to go outward. People who go and they seek outward when they have those negative feelings often are able to harness them and deal with them. People who withdraw inward, like there's only so much you can do to fix that inside yourself. And it's very much easier to spiral downward and badly. So Norn's in a rough spot. Regardless of what else might be going on with her, she's in a rough spot psychologically and has some elements of her personality and position that put her at risk. I would say put her at risk. Despite having a bunch of opportunities around her, despite having people who would be willing to support her, she's in an at-risk state of like being unwilling to accept the support and love that flows her way, in part because she doesn't think she's worthy of it, in part because she thinks she has to earn it. It's interesting. I really like how Rudy picks up on this, and I really like what it reveals to us about why Aisha sees her the way that she does, but she doesn't even try. If she at least tried to overcome her stuff, then I'd respect her. But why doesn't she try? Sometimes trying is the absolute hardest thing in the entire world, especially if you're sure that you're going to fail. So if you say so, I'll watch my tongue. Is that first evidence of like being able to restrain yourself with logic and politeness in order to keep social lubrication going. It demonstrates real emotional awareness and capacity for Aisha that will grow in leaps and bounds as she ages. Again, young brains, right? So you can only expect so much from a youth, but also, again, children understand things like this all the time really deeply, and Aisha seems to understand a lot of stuff pretty fucking deeply. She's quite a smart young lady. This scene is dope. This puts us into that parent moment. Suddenly, we're on the other side of things, and I think it's really cool to be generationally swapping like this. Like we've taken our position as the parents in this relationship, in this chain of being. Yes, we've taken over some of those responsibilities from Paul in some weird ways. Maybe that's weird, but for now, it's perfect for these two. This is going on there. That's going on there. What do you want? What do you think? And we're responsible adults. Shouldn't we be doing this? And Sylvie sees in Aisha that, like, maybe she doesn't need to go to school. She'd probably do fine anyway. Which is cool. It's cool. I'd rather not overthink things and let her do what she wants is cool. But, again, when you have a person who's doing great and succeeding, and your answer to that is, great, leave them alone, let it go, don't fix what ain't broken, that's true. But you're also not spending as much time with them or supporting them as much in those ways. And a lot of people really like to have somebody watching out for them and making sure that they're doing well and like there for it. And instead, they put all their attention toward the problem child in Norn, and that leaves Aisha kind of in the lurch, and we get some backfire from that. Seems anxious without Paul or Ruijerd. Yeah, needs another person to really connect with. Counting on Sylvie is really dope. Having this trust between our couple is what we were hoping to experience as this pair of children entered their life. Is like, how will these two manage being shaken by this? And the answer is stronger. The answer is the world shakes and they lean harder against each other. They find that where Rudy is like uncertain, Sylphie actually has some really deep intuition. And we could say feminine intuition, womanly intuition, and I think that's a fair thing to say. That kind of insight has been associated with the feminine side of these relationships for a long, long, long time. The nurturing, caring, motherly side is what we wanted to see from Sylphie. It parallels and contrasts her capacity to be the stone cold Mr. Fitz fighter type as well. She's able to wear multiple hats and be Mrs. Smith as well as Mrs. I don't know, what's a good motherly character? You get what I mean, yes? She's able to do both and able to think things through on that emotional level. And most importantly, she and Rudy are able to sit and talk and communicate on that emotional level, communicate their worries and fears, support each other and figure out ways to delegate tasks and responsibilities, to think it through together, to operate as a team, to integrate and incorporate their two minds in order to be a more complete and fulfilled unit. It's pretty top tier. It's about as good as you could get as an example, similar to the way that Norn needs an example of somebody to follow. This is a good example for any of us to follow in terms of how to handle difficulties, struggles, and problems in a relationship before they come up, as they begin to emerge. Hey, what do you think about this? What should we do? How do we handle this? These elements are this way. What do you think? I'm thinking this. You don't think that? You think that maybe we should let her be and leave her to her own devices? Okay, that makes more sense. I don't really understand the situation or this kind of person very well, so I really value your insight. The things that you're good at, we need you to be handling. The things that I'm good at, I'll handle, and it'll be great, and we'll both be willing and happy to do that, and we'll bail each other out when it gets tough on either side. Foundations of a quality relationship. How will this house stand? Solidly so far. Solidly so far. Time passes, scores come in. What do you want to try? Living somewhere else. Aisha doesn't want it. Partly because she doesn't want her sister gone. Even though they fight. Fine. But why? She didn't get a good score. Why should she get her way? Shouldn't she be punished? I got it right. I should be praised and she should be punished. No, hold on. This is to try to make things better for everybody. This is to be better for her. I'm not giving Norn special treatment because of this emotional. Okay, we found it, right? So this is great. This is a surprising response from Aisha, isn't it? It's a little bit of a surprising response. It's like we hit a landmine that we didn't know was there. This happens all the time with people. All the time with people. And often the way that we respond to those surprising, unexpected responses is, wow, what an irrational, crazy thing for you to say. How fucked up of you. But what's really going on is usually that there's some piece of trauma or fear that's not well explored that has reared its head. Aisha blows up a little bit at the idea that Norn is going to be allowed to do what she wants. Why? Well, I'm not just humoring her. What is going on here, though? The logic is put out in front of her. We put out the logic. Here it is. She'll do better. I really think that this is the best thing for her. She presents the emotions. Why? Why is she doing this? And then we dive to it. Once the logic is presented, she actually explains the root reason for those emotions and for that outburst. I have the opposite, an inferiority complex around the fact that my mom is a concubine. Why is Aisha so desperate to be so useful? This is the question that we don't ask. We ask it about Norn, right? Like, why does she feel this feeling of like despair and this not being good enough that leads her to withdraw and push away? But why does Aisha try so hard to be useful and a little perfect little maid in her little perfect little maid outfit and be so much like her mom? She's got a complex around that too. She's compensating for something. Quite a few things, maybe. She's the flip side of the bloodline thing, too. She's the part sister who has to work doubly hard to make herself worthy of even being seen by their father. She's the not married one. She's the other. So she has to be the most useful, the best. It helps that she's talented, but she's motivated too. So, we see the flip side. Is it because my mom is a concubine? You're giving her special treatment because she's special? She's better? She's more like you, a full sister? Other people say so. We're only half related. We're not even full siblings. So here we go. Wham, connect directly on the emotional level that we're on. Get down on our knees and speak directly to that. First of all, I don't think that's true. Second of all, I love you and you're my sister. Third of all, I don't know that this logic will necessarily convince you, and I'm not going to try to you, but I am working for both of you, and we're on the same team here. Response from a less well-adjusted, well-integrated person might be a continued explosion or bubbling, right? That these things are able to link together, that Aisha's able to go into her brain and take this little moment and take a little breath and nod and go, okay, and put those things together, demonstrates emotional intelligence and work and like well-nurtured, well-nourished spirit in a young person who's also got the base foundational, probably mostly genetic, not nurture related, but nature related framework for being a pretty well adjusted, well centered person in the first place. Very lucky for her. But having that as a core and then having the layers built on top of that of like strong enough attachments and stable enough ways of thinking that she's able to line those things up and overcome her feelings, this rush of like this seizing of anxiety or seizing of pain, or maybe resentment, or maybe like disdain for the sister that doesn't do anything, and why does she get good treatment when I don't, and I did so much good. She's able to calm herself and incorporate and return to something more like homeostasis and look at her brother with love. So we fade out of the situation, and Norn goes in her own direction, but Aisha is happily back to doing her thing, is happily able to integrate that moment and able to incorporate it and move past it. Does Norn? Don't know. One side of this little pair is doing wonderfully, and the other pretty glum. Telling you a few things doesn't work. This whole scene, it's so awkward. It's like a gap that keeps getting bigger and unbridgeable-ier. All the do's, do this, and we have to keep you. We have to bring you home, and you have to come home every 10 days. Otherwise, I'll worry. None of it's really for Norn, and none of it has been from an angle of getting Norn to do what Norn wants to do. We tried. Is there something that you want to do? And she said, I want to stay in the dorms. But we haven't done anything to make that feel like a good experience for her, or like something that she's positive for, or find out what she is driven by. Like, what does Norn actually want? What does she want? I mean on a fundamental level, does she want knowledge, capacity, stability, aloneness, solitude, the feeling of being strong? What does Norn want? And then if we were to find that, how can we convince Norn that doing things a certain way will help her achieve that? Like, if Norn wants friends, how do we demonstrate the step-by-step path that going and talking to people is the way that friends are made? Because it seems like there are some pieces there that are missing. And this is not uncommon, that you get people who are like, I really want friends, and I don't know how to make any friends, so I'm just not going to, but I really want them. And there's just missing pieces. And they might even know in their head that it's like, I gotta go talk to people, but I don't know how. How do we overcome that? How do we line those things up as like, this is the path that you should be going on. Here's a set of steps that will take you to the light at the end of the tunnel. Here's a direction to go. I think Norn's missing a lot of that. Again, I think she needs a role model, and potentially one who doesn't care about friends and doesn't care about most of the stuff going on in this school, but who instead is mostly interested in something particular, something silly or interesting. I really think Nanahoshi could be the one. These scenes of Norn alone in classes are very rough. Just being ignored by everyone. Very rough. A single butterfly. And outside the window, right? Outside the window, not in. Oh my god, the present is such a bad idea. What a horror. What an absolute horror. This whole scene is wonderful and horrifying. The angles go so buck wild once it starts to be revealed what's going on. Oh, thank god. Oh, I was worried I wasn't satisfying you. Introducing her to Ariel and Luke might be really good, but I don't know if it's enough. And then Lily and Persena really screwed the pooch. Family doesn't mean we can automatically get along, is true as true can be. And now, well, seems like Norn might be going a familiar direction. Eh, Rudius? So I was just checking to see if people thought, if anybody in the Discord had mentioned like watching 16 and 17 together. It seems that they're going to be deeply connected as episodes, so I'm a little bit tempted to. But I also think that I'd much rather leave this be, because I'm a little bit overdone, a little bit overcooked, a little bit overcooked from the whole weekend and stuff. But in the process, I also ran across looking through the old Discord channels, just because the way that I searched it popped up some stuff about season 1 episode 16 and made me realize that just in season 1 episode 16 was where we had the episode where Rudy and Paul re-met and re-collided. So there's an echoing or a rhyming there to this sort of tough but beautiful interaction between family members that I think is really poignant and really nice. As it stands, I think we're going to experience Norn having a little bit of a difficult time here. But I think she does have the supports needed around her to go and pull her up out of this and introduce her to something around this school that will bring her joy. I think she's deserving of that. I think she'll be able to find it. So, with my own joy at you joining me for this week's episode, I will say thank you so much for watching this one, and I will see you next week for more Mushoku Tensei. Much love. Peace. You know what? Fuck it. I lied. I closed down all my recording stuff because I was done with episode it was 16. Yep. I was done with episode 16. I was like, all right, I'm done. I'm going to go start editing and stuff. It's like, this next episode's going to be connected to this one. I want to finish it off. And so I will, and I shall. And I hope that you enjoy it. And if you'd like to support the channel on Patreon, it's in the description. Thank you so much. It makes it feel really good to do things like this where I just put more into it and get more out of it. That always feels really good. So if you're appreciative, Patreon. Let's watch the episode. That's what I wanted to do. I'm doing it for my own reasons. Because it's good, and because it's going to be connected, and because, I don't know, I feel like I don't want to leave all of the conversation that we've had about the psychology involved. I don't want to leave that on the table for a week and have all the other stuff that I'm going to watch in between. I want to see where Norn ends up and see if we can solve it in this next one. So I think that'll be more powerful and more useful for you and for me to have it all together. So I'm going to watch episode 17 of Mushoku Tensei Season 2. I've got it up and ready to go. Versions as usual. Beep beep timer. Let's get into it. Hikikomota. There we are. So, back to the same. Yep. Yep. Oh! Yeah, we are gonna flashback. Okay. Of course. Of course. His face is a mask of rage and pain. Is that the way you want to go and approach her, though? Whoa. Yeah, that's the face. He can't turn his back on them. So we hit our own hard line of morality, like, must. OP has grown on me. It's always fun, but it has continued to grow. Where the fuck is my sister? Who's being bullied? Are you taking the wrong tact for this? You're taking the wrong tact for this. I don't think so, dude. I don't think. See, he immediately runs to bullying. It doesn't have to be his own trauma. Yeah. Yes, you will. Uh huh. Lies. Uh huh. Wow. We need a balance here. We need to still hear something. It was you! No. Oh, you're not good like your brother. Or talented. Did she fail it? Oh my god, what the fuck? Yeah, his own trauma just doesn't stop. What? That's crazy. Compared to you, compared to you, compared to the better you. Always. Huh? It's me? It's me? I'm the problem, it's me? Everyone has said that. It's me. I'm the problem, it's me. It's not even Aisha. It's the magical brother. The prodigy. Oops. There's our balance, thank you. Shut the fuck up. It's worth worrying about. Shut up. Yeah. Yeah, but the like, I'm gonna kill any of you. Fuck. What? Fuck. Yeah, for like 2 days. Which is, it's not the same. True. Sonia, Sonia. Ah! uh, he knows now. Welcome to the other side, Rudius. Welcome to your parents. Oh, that was dope. Yeah, but what? Wow, just rocked. Absolutely rocked. That's the one. You don't have to carry this alone. You don't have to carry it alone, man. No. Oh, was that the distraction to get everybody away? Okay. Man, this could go really badly. This could go really badly. Oh. You did? Oh. Ah, we're being snuckified with magic. Fucking amazing. Just the way mundane magic, make it water. Yokoso. A midnight rendezvous. Not the kind I thought we'd be having with Linnea. Nice. Man, I hope so. We're gonna break in? Break into a young woman's room? I don't know about that, y'all. Let's go save this chick! Sister Savo. Okay, at least we're knocking. Person that you least want to see. What? Oh. Oh, that's a fucking hell of a door to open. Are we gonna layer them over each other? With you as your father? Yes. Good. Hmm. All these reasons. Yeah. All these books. Mm. A wall. Just like Norn will convince herself that you can't. How could you? You're the perfect one. The ideal brother. Can you do better? He gave up. And you will have failed. And you will have failed. Kedo. Just sit here with her. Finally, from her perspective. That's where it starts. Yeah, that's where it starts. Mm-hmm. Ah, how dare he be having such a happy life. Even though, on the flip side, like, we ran into Dad being all drunk and shitty. Just need to be careful I don't upset him. There we go. It's only for practical reasons to stay. Wow, yeah. Just trying not to write any to wreck anything. Stability, safety. That doesn't fit with her worldview. It doesn't fit with your worldview. Yeah. Just willing to dismiss me or throw me away. Just complete misinterpretation. Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah, because you desperately want to connect and you are unwilling to do so because it'll hurt. And then everybody will compare you. Like, Rudy. Lots of rumors about him. Fuck. The Psycho, the strongest. Here, have a complex. Here, have more. Damn, only everybody only wants you for that. Fuck. No, everybody forgets. Nobody even knows your name. I have a name. I don't expect you to be just like your brother. Ow! Ow! I don't want to! Ow! Fuck! Stop talking about my brother! Who was that character? Right to the gut. And then he's helpful, too, and good, and... I don't want to know nothing about my brother. Everybody talks about nothing but my damn brother. Oh, stealing underwear. You fucks. Oh, and he's awful and doing all these horrible things. But I see through him. Why do they all love this asshole so much? Bird person! Ah, gut-wrenching. Panic attack. Fuck. Yep. Return to now? Yeah. Okay. Now we're caught up. Now we see. Now what does that mean? How could that be? Impossible. Them seeing these memories is amazing. What if? Now we're in the impossible space where you don't have the logic. There's one person who will help you, and he's sitting right there. Someone else who... Oh, Ginger! That's Ginger. Someone else who knows him well. There you are. Right. You have to be open to it. That's what she's doing, though, is running. So he thought it through and chose to see things from her perspective. And to take on radical responsibility for himself. Isn't that where we would want to start? Uncertainty is a good place to be. Let's pull away the veil and look at the man himself. Oh, yep, the same broken father, now a broken brother. In the same need. Oh. Whatever that means. Whatever that means. Whoever that is. You didn't, but you do now. You didn't, but you do now. That's the part I was waiting for. Rudy didn't run either. He walked away, but he came back. Yeah! Yeah, it's brutal. It's brutal. BROODLE, brutal. Fuck, yeah. Holy tits. Oh, we got a Nissan Ohio gozaimasu. Holy shit, we got one. Call her mom. Mom. I'm kidding. Yeah. You can't save people. It's okay. They don't exist anymore, really. They don't exist anymore. They were fictions. Oh, she's got friends. She became friends with Puppy Girl. Wasn't on her own. Oh, ho, ho, she didn't have you. If your brother could have been more like you. But this is the cycle of growth. This is the cycle of growth. This is learning from past mistakes. And now we can learn from this. With the tables reversed, you got to experience it and overcome and vicariously incorporate. It's powerful. And we do too. And we do too. All right, I'm waiting for a shooter drop. Oh. Gratitude for what couldn't be seen then. My older brother's feelings now ends up having a double meaning. That's so dank. That's so dank. My older brother's feelings has a double meaning. Because it's his older brother's feelings as well, and it's Aisha's or Norn's inability to understand them. That's good. That was a really good conflict mediation circumstance. From the like overreaction at the start to the flashback sequences that lead to directly connected empathetic understanding from your own life's history and mirroring and applying those patterns to somebody else's in a way that becomes useful. And most importantly, humility, not coming in and hitting Norn with a bunch of instructions or statements or stuff or like whatever, but trying to come in with like, the most important thing he said to me was, I don't know what to do for you. I have this desire, like, my desires are only to help you, and I don't know how. Help me help you. Like, that level of humility and not understanding, like, that's how you build it. That's how you build it. When you've got those questions of like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to express this feeling that I have. You can just say that you have the feeling and ask how you might express it. It's potent shit. Not a turning point, 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 not a turning point. Come on, not a turning point, not a turning point, not a turning point, not a... Fuck! Oh, fuck. I'm not... Shit, I should have left it. I should have left the episode for next time. I should have dragged it. Oh, it's perfect. That's great. That is perfect, though, isn't it? We got to do this nice, solid, well-executed, interpersonal, relationship-focused, psychological double. Right before the point gets turned. Oh, man. Oh, man, my butt is puckered. Okay, it's also a wild wash of relief. Here's why. Because I know it's coming. And now I know it's coming now. It's like, it's soon. It's coming. Before, I just knew it was going to. Eventually. Maybe. That's way scarier. That's way scarier. Much better to know that it's now. It's like, okay, great. Got a timeline. Fuck! Ah! I'm not gonna fix that during the recording. I don't care. One of my lights fell. I don't care. There's enough light. Fiat looks. There's enough for me to continue. I'm whomped. This is why I didn't want to watch another episode, because I knew that I was just delirious and would be whomped. But fuck, am I glad that I did, because one, great episode, really excellent psychological stuff, fantastic interpersonal shit. Reminds me once more that, well, that Rifujin knows his shit in a more in a more serious way than a lot of authors do. It takes something special to write interpersonal relations and interactions in a way that's so powerful, evokes so much empathy, and gives so much knowledge and information. Like the knowledge and information that we just got from this episode of Mushoku Tensei is as good or better than lots and lots and lots of books and videos and lectures and classes on interpersonal relationships and overcoming conflict. Like the mediation strategies that get taught formally are great and cool and whatever, right? But it's amazing to me that a piece of fiction can express those things in a way that gives us real models to aim for and to identify and look at and point at and point ourselves at and learn from. I think that it's more valuable to the way that I learn, at the very least, to see it executed. Even in fiction, it's real. Even in fiction, it's real. Because these circumstances could happen. Because these relations, the relationship between Norn and Rudy is like 50% of 24 different relationships that I've had over the course of my life. Different 50%, right? Like different chunks. There's no relationship that I've had in my life that's exactly Norn and Rudy. Or Rudy and his dad. Or Norn and Aisha. Or Rudy and Sylphie. Or, well, I do have one that's very, very close to Rudy and Sylphie. It's kind of weird. But this is a pattern throughout Mushoku Tensei, is that when we get these sort of broad strokes relationships, they're specific insofar as they are the characters that we're witnessing, but they're broad insofar as the hooks to them, the pieces of the interactions that have emotional valence, that have power, that can connect them from their lives to your life. As long as you can find a hook, you hook in, and suddenly there's a lesson that applies to you. Suddenly there's a thing to learn, or something meaningful that applies to you. And those meaningful interactions seem so often to be based either intuitively or explicitly, unclear as far as from Rifujin's perspective, on the kinds of things that get taught in those more formal aspects and places. Whether those are just things that Rifujin Namaganote has just intuited about the way that relationships should go and people should interact, or whether Rifujin Namaganote is a fucking psych major and knows these things and is a family and marriage counseling therapist or whatever. I don't know. But the kind of interactions and lessons and models that we get in this show are, I think, on par. I think that this lesson and comparison about the ways that people reach out to people who are in distress and in trouble is maybe one of the more potent lessons that we've had in Mushoku. We've been on the other side of it as Rudius, and we've watched his struggles and his descent. We've seen from his side some of the attempts that people have made and not made to give him space and to help him. And we've seen similar things in ReZero and elsewhere. But here we have the tables turned. We have those tables turned. We see what doesn't work, and we see from the first-person POV of somebody who's had those things not work, why it doesn't work, why Rudius's brother's good-natured attempts to connect with him fell on deaf ears and were ignored, how Rudy built up walls that shut him out, despite the logic making sense, how Rudy can look back and recognize now that everything that his brother said was true, and yet can also recognize that in no way would any of that have ever changed his mind or actually altered the outcomes. And so, from that position, from that first-person POV, Rudius can learn, and we can learn by extension, that doesn't work. It's not exactly certain. We don't have a perfect roadmap for what will, because Rudy hasn't experienced it, but at the least he has some lessons and some things he can learn. He has those interactions with his father, too. Those interactions with his past life older brother. How he doesn't want to make Norn feel like she's on the other side of that. How he knows and recognizes as he walks into that room that he is in the same circumstance now. that he's on the other side of the table from his past self, but also comes to recognize in the moment when he overreacts at the beginning, we'll use this as our opportunity to jump in and start skimming, also comes to realize that this is a different circumstance from his, that Norn wasn't bullied, Norn wasn't ostracized or strung up naked or receiving a whole huge heaping helping of cruelty. It's not the same circumstance. There are parts of it that he can relate to, but you also can't come at somebody by being like, I know what's going on with you because I've experienced it. Because just like Rudius says, I convinced myself that someone like him could never understand what was going on with me. In the same way, Rudy trying to come at Aisha and be like, look, I was bullied once and all these things, or come at Norn and say those, probably wouldn't work either. Probably wouldn't make sense either. So, damn it, indeed. Water making is awesome. I think this is spectacular as a use of magic and also a really cool little piece of animation. Just very cool. She holed herself up. She has a reason not to. And he finds himself unwilling to rely on his own support structure. I think this is important for Rudy. He comes to this conclusion. Everybody's nervous and worried about him. He marches off on his own, not sure what he can do. Finds himself alone in this endless hallway, running endlessly, yeah? But then they catch up. Hey, we're here to support you. We'll do this. We'll do this all together. And we do. And we do. Sylphie's desire to help, stopping by her room. It's beautiful. Everyone working together is fun in Ocean's 11Z. But this is the moment when we step inside and it's a different room. And it's his room, and he's his brother, and now we're somewhere else. Damn. So here we are, we hold Dutch all throughout until we get here, and then we frame flat. And we relive, we remember. He tried, and I spat on it, and I ignored him. I didn't argue. It didn't matter what he said, because it all came from a place of ignorance. There was no listening to any of it. This must be how my brother felt. And in the same token, what Norn feels must be like what I felt. It's different. She didn't get bullied or abused. I jumped to that conclusion too fast. I thought, it must be the same circumstance and I can help. But it's not. And I needed to step back and understand that. And I've learned from my brother's element, too. I cannot leave her here. Cannot. So, we finally get to switch the perspective. Where did it start? Fear. Irrational, maybe. But from Norn's little perspective, beating up the dad I loved who had protected me, gallivanting with various women, being kind and being happy-go-lucky while serious problems are going on. Norn doesn't see that Paul was similarly getting drunk and twisted as he found his own failures. She can't see that. It's rose-tinted. So she finds herself in this place where it's like a foster child. She's in an unsafe home with someone she doesn't trust, who she believes is a physical and psychological threat to her and her sister. Aisha doesn't see it that way. Aisha's in danger, right? And she's in danger. So she has to walk on eggshells. This new woman that he's with is also scary. She might flip out and freak out on me too. People are dangerous. This place is cold. If I get left out on my own, I'll die and I'll freeze. The situation that I'm in is that I'm here on a thread. Rudy hasn't taken me in because he loves me. He's taken me in because he's obligated to. He can't feel very good about this, and I don't bring anything to the table. Aisha's got all this positivity and these things to bring to be useful and stuff. And me? I'm just a mouth to feed. I'm in danger. I'm afraid. But there keep being these pieces of evidence, these things that don't quite coagulate with her worldview, and those elements really shatter her, really throw her into some weird loops. Why does everyone seem to think that Rudy's cool? He's obviously not. Dissonance. Why doesn't he get mad at me and hurt me when I do things for myself? Shouldn't he be trying to control me and prevent me from doing these things? But the answer isn't something must be wrong with my map of the world. It must be there's a trick going on. There's something else going on. What's happening? This is wrong. This is strange. But maybe what it is that he just doesn't care. Maybe he's just dismissive, and that's where we get that anxiety. Compared to him, I'm nothing. Maybe I'll hold him back, while also being expected to be so high. You can become just like your brother. I don't want to. Pain, pain, your brother, 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 your brother. And that ache becomes too much to bear. And suddenly this gossamer thin veil between you and the reality outside becomes enough to keep it all out. It might just be a thin sheet of fabric, but it's as much a wall as any other. Because I worry? Impossible. How can this be this way? So she starts to open her eyes a little bit. It's really hard and very painful to learn that your expectations of reality are incorrect. Even if they're incorrect in a way that's better than you expected, often we're not relieved by that. We're much more relieved by finding out that things are as bad as we expect. Just like finding out that the turning point is coming. Isn't that so funny? That is very funny. Yeah, we're more relieved to find out that things are as bad as we expect. That like, yeah, okay, the shoe is dropping. I don't have to wait for it to get worse now. I don't have to wonder that Rudy's got some secret plan. He's just evil. Yippee-ki-yay. But instead, having to go through and totally reconfigure all of the structure around Rudy and your images, your representations of him, really hard. Like actual work to tear those bits out of your brain and rebuild them. It's destruction and creation within you. It's hard. And then it leaves you with nothing. You've built all these responses based on a non-reality. And now what do? And then you're a child and you don't know how to overcome these things. How do we make up? How do you make up? How do you apologize or make up in a situation like this? When you've done wrong, how do you do any of it? Well, okay, no one here will help me. I'll just hide. And a memory flashes through. Support from Ruijerd. Face him. Your father didn't run away. Your brother didn't run away. And he doesn't run away now. How does he open? With an apology. By taking all of the responsibility upon himself, whether it is his responsibility or not. By being that open to it, by being that self-effacing, you open the floor to the other person for their real feelings to come out. I am hugely in favor of this. I think it's very good to apologize early. I think it's good to apologize when you don't think that you are in the wrong. I think it's good. You don't lose anything by apologizing. A lot of people think that they lose something, that there's like pride involved, or like people will treat you worse because you've apologized to them, or they'll look at you as a pushover. Certainly if you're like, sorry for everything, sure. But if you're serious about something and you just value a relationship more than a little bit of pride, then apologize early. You can apologize in a way that demonstrates a lack of awareness of what to do about it or what you've done. You can say, hey, I really want to help you. I feel like I haven't been able to do that, and I'm really sorry. Is there anything that I could do to make our relationship or our friendship go better? Those sorts of things can work. They can really work. They're really hard to do. But in a situation like this, or anything even close to like it, it's very powerful. It's very powerful to actively and proactively apologize, to take on what I would call radical ownership of a situation or a responsibility. Am I the cause of all of the struggle in this dynamic, in this partnership, in this relationship between these two people, self-included? No. But in conversation, our conversation will go much better if I take full responsibility for everything that's happened in the dynamic, and then, because I'm comfortable doing that, my pride allows me to do that. Even if in retrospect, I would think it through and be like, no, the other person was probably really responsible for most of the hardship and conflict that we experienced, because I came at this pretty level-headed and mellow, and they came at it pretty vitriolic and hateful, and it was mostly their fault. Still, in the conversation, it's much more useful for me to take responsibility for everything that could have gone wrong and could be going wrong, and then after the fact, if it really goes wrong, fine. I can blame the other person for that. But it's even internally much more useful to take it as like, what could I have done better? That can be damaging too. There are lots of relationships and circumstances that you couldn't have done something better. If you're in an abusive circumstance, thinking through and mulling over, like, how could I have fixed this, is never going to fix it, because some people are just broken. But when there's something to solve, when there's something to fix, when there's something worthwhile there, stepping back, not blaming the other, not blaming outside forces, but looking and saying, maybe I'm responsible for every element of my relationship with this person. Maybe I'm responsible for their emotional state. That's a crazy thing to think, right? A lot of people really shy away from that one. They're like, no, their responses to me are their responsibility. That's their emotional state. Yeah, but what if I were to say, I'm responsible for your emotional state? That puts me in the place where I could say, I'm responsible for your emotional state, and I think I'm capable of making it better. Here's how I'm going to try. If I'm capable of making it worse, I'm capable of making it better. If I'm not responsible for it, I've washed my hands of it, it's out of my control, and that might give me some internal peace, but it also makes me feel useless. It also makes me feel like I have no effect and no impact. People do that in relationships, and that, I think, is what happens when his brother gives up. I've tried, but your emotional state is under your control, not mine. I can't be responsible for you anymore. Your damage and your hardship, it's yours. I did what I could. I have to cut you off and move on. Fair enough, but there's an antidote. There's an antidote, and the antidote is being like, I really care. I'm sorry that I haven't been able to do this for you. I'm sorry for all the things that I've failed at. I don't know what they are. Could you tell me? I'd really like to be there for you. I don't know how. Could you help me? Are there things that you need? All of this because of me. I don't really even know you. I don't know what I should do for you. And it's that. I don't know you. I'm sorry. I don't know what I should do for you, that humanizes him. That allows Norn to look up and see an image of the people that she's known, of her sad, bedraggled father, of a person caring and kind, looking at her with compassion, asking to stay, stating flatly the basic things. I don't know what to do, but I am here for you. I won't be leaving. I want to see what's really there. I won't force it, but can I stay? Well, they haven't run, so I won't run. Does Rudy understand exactly what happened? Norn wouldn't tell me anything. I don't know what was really bothering her. I don't understand it exactly. I couldn't do anything. It's this combo, this weird fine line, this weird balance between two, and this is a fundamental truth about reality. Things can be particles and they can be waves. They can be two things that are mutually exclusive at once. It's possible. It is simultaneously possible to believe that you cannot help someone, you cannot save them, you cannot fix their internal problems, and to believe that you are completely responsible for all interactions and emotions that they experience in relation to you. And beyond. Those two things should be totally mutually exclusive, right? Because if I'm responsible for all of your emotions and experiences, then I should be able to fix you. But it's not true. I can't fix you. Nobody can fix each other. And yet, they can be responsible for each other's emotions. Because you can damage people. And you can help them fix themselves. And you can be responsible and see yourself as responsible for both. And you can apologize for the one in order to accomplish the other. This is a damn good episode of Mushoku Tensei. I really look forward to seeing how people interact with it and talk about it in the comments and stuff. I would love to know from anyone who has siblings, how they feel about this one. Likewise, from anyone who has children and who has had that experience, either with a sibling or with a child or with a friend, of reaching out or being reached out to without understanding. Like, not really understanding where somebody's at, but having the words to say, to express that despite not comprehending and not being certain of how they can help, that they want to. Because I think that's a space that's really deeply, dramatically important. It's great to know what to say in particular circumstances, but I think it's most important to know what to say when you don't know what the circumstance is and when you don't understand. Because the most common interaction between two people is that they don't understand each other at all. Even if they've known each other for decades, they don't understand each other at all. And so the assumptions that one will make about the other and what might help them are going to be faulty. How do you express a desire to be there for somebody, a need to help them, a want to, without knowing how? How do you express humbly the capacity to care? To say, I don't know how to, but I'm willing to try in every direction that might work to help us. Because I think that's really important. I'd love to hear what y'all have to think and say and write and comment and subscribe. I'd love to hear your subscriptions. Ding! Okay, we'll wrap there. Thanks so much for watching this impromptu double episode of Mushoku Tensei Season 2. I hope you enjoyed it nearly as much as I did and got something useful and potent out of it. And I hope to catch you next week as the point is turned and the unexpected comes to upset our lovely little idyllic family. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next week for more. Much love. Peace.